What is up, y'all? Philyflishow checking in here, kicking in at Right Way Production Studios, and we are here for Freedom 250. This might be a little bit on the quicker side. I'm not going to go into like crazy detail and make this as long as my normal podcast of the week. But hey, we're here for Freedom 250. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see what this plays out at. First outside event in a very long time, and 100% funded by the UFC, which is crazy. He has spent over $60 million in Dana White just to have this event. So, super excited for this. We're going to grab our sheets of paper here. Quick review of last week. UFC Fight Night Belal Muhammad versus Gabriel Bronfien was a great night for the Philyflishow. The Joe Money Show failed on its parlay because Priscilla Cochera couldn't come up with it, and Gabriel Bronfien just put on the show on Belal Muhammad. Belal's got to get back to what he used to do with his wrestling and mixing up his striking with his wrestling, because he's got power in those hands, and he is actually really, every time I see him in the ring against somebody else, I'm like, God, he is actually pretty big in the shoulders and stuff. So he can still do it. He can still put it on people, but he's got to go back to the game plan there. But what we are here for is UFC Freedom 250. I am going to call this the first event where it is two real headliners, real big headliners. You get Ilia, Topuria, and Justin Gaethje for the main event, and the co-main event, Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane for the interim heavyweight championship. Now, I just recorded the Joe Money Show. I was really excited about that. I'm really excited about those picks, but we got 7 fights only on this card, and this card's just fire. Top to bottom, don't let anybody talk you out of it. If people want to dog the UFC like they usually do, they're just haters, and haters are going to hate. So let's get into it. Freedom 250, matching number 7. This should not be the start of the card. The start of the card should be Josh Hokett and Derek Lewis. I do not understand why that is not the start of the card, but hey, that's how it goes there. We're going to start off the card with matching number 7, featherweight bout between the number 2 ranked Diego Lopez and the number 9th ranked Stevie Garcia. Now, Steve is a plus 136, whereas Diego's a negative 174. I love Diego's odds right there, and I love this fight for Diego. Diego's a very good featherweight that people just... He might have got 2 title fights. One that he didn't deserve, but the other one he did. Y'all can't dog him for losing those 2 fights because Alexander Volkanovski is a legend. All right, but Diego is 3-2 in his last 5, 6-3 in the UFC. He is coming off a loss to the champion Volkanovski. Now, can argue that he didn't deserve that title fight, but again, one of the tops. Can't dog him. His counterpart in Stevie is 5-0 in his last 5, 8-2 in his last, 8-2 in the UFC, and on a 7-fight win streak. That is just crazy. Steve and the guys that he's beat are all great dudes, good guys. That's why he is number 9th ranked, facing a big step up in competition in Diego Lopez. But Diego Lopez does not lose that fight. I am sorry, Steve. You are gotta learn the levels of this game, and you're gotta learn how to defeat a guy like Diego Lopez. Can't wait to see it. 3 out of 5 on the comments level that our boy Diego gets his hand raised. Matching number 6 is a middleweight bout between 2 unranked guys. We get Bo Nickel versus Kyle Dawkins. Kyle's a plus 240 underdog. Bo's a negative 330 favorite. Look, man, Kyle's got 2 stints in the UFC. His second stint so far is looking really good. I've always liked his skill set / game plan. But against a guy like Bo Nickel, who's just learning his hands, learning how to actually fight, and the guy that he just knocked out, I don't know how you go against him. Bo is 4-1 in his last 5. 5-1 in the UFC, and coming off a KO win over Rodolfo Vieira. That is just an insane win for him. And to do it with KO and standing up, shout out to Bo Nickel for that one. His counterpart, Kyle Dawkins, he is 5-0 in his last 5. 4-1 between his 2 stints in the UFC. And he's on a 6-fight win streak coming into here. Hard not to pick against Kyle Dawkins, but Kyle, again, levels of this game, and I just think Bo's level is going to be too much. If Kyle upsets it, I would not be upset about this. I'm picking Bo Nickel with that negative 330, but you can't cash that to the bank because we got to see who wins. 1 out of 5 on the comments level that he can get his hand raised. Matchup number 5 is a banger. Another banger. I know every fight on here is a banger, but this one's a banger for me. One, we get to see the number 9th ranked Mauricio Hoofy fight again, and dude, that guy does not disappoint. Moving to City Kickboxing might be the best thing that's ever going to happen to him and how he's going to level up his game. Yes, Fighting Nerds is a great camp, but for some reason there's just something coming up a bit short in certain people's game plan, and that's why Hoofy left. He is a number 9th ranked. Fighting the 13th ranked Michael Chandler. Michael's a plus 420 underdog, whereas Mauricio Hoofy's a negative 650 favorite, and the odds maker has had this right. I don't see Michael being able to get a win, and I feel like Michael's going to be put out really quick. Mauricio's hands are too good. He's great at grappling, and Mike's been out for a while. So, Mauricio, big win, 3 out of 5 on the confidence level that he can get his hand raised. I do got to go over the... I did just pick them. I should just keep going, but I'm just going to quickly go over it. Mauricio Hoofy, 4-1 in the UFC, which he's 4-1 in his last 5. He's coming off a KO win against Fiziev. Good win. And then, like I said, Michael Chandler 1-4 in his last 5, 2-5 in the UFC, and on a 3-fight lose streak that's moving to 4 because he is not beating a guy like Mauricio Hoofy. Match like number 4 should be the first fight on the fight of the night. I do not really... This fight does not intrigue me at the level that to get it on the Freedom 250 card. It's a little bit of a shit show. I can't lie against it. Josh Hokett, number 5 ranked versus 9th ranked Derek Lewis. Derek Lewis at plus 285 underdog, whereas Josh Hokett's negative 400 favorite. Josh is 5-0 in his last 5, 3-0 in the UFC, and then is a 9-0 undefeated fighter who has not faced much adversity yet. His last fight was the closest fight you could say to adversity, but that was just because he had to go in a dog brawl, and that was flipping crazy. Now, Derek Lewis, his counterpart, he is 3-2 in his last 5, 20-11 in the UFC, and coming off a KO loss to Salsa Boy, a.k.a. Wooly Acosta. Look, man, I don't see Derek getting a win. Derek's been exposed that he can't take shots. He can't compete with the best anymore. All he can do is fire a one-shotted missile at your face. Yes, that can land. Yes, it could put out Hokett, but Hokett's showed in his last fight he can be in a brawl and he's going to put it on you, and I just feel like Derek doesn't have the skill set to do this anymore. Josh Hokett gets that win. 1 out of 5 on the confidence level because Derek can throw those one-handed missiles and they can just land. All right, third match leg of the evening. It is a bantamweight male division fight. There's no females on this card, which is nuts to me. Sean Sugar O'Malley versus Ayman Zahabi. Now, Zahabi's a plus 300 underdog and the number 6 ranked versus the number 3 ranked Sugar Sean O'Malley. O'Malley's a negative 430 favorite. I get why they made this fight, but they could have gave Sean a different guy to make this a little bit more exciting. But I do like the matchup here. It's just gonna show that Sean needed to work on grappling because Zahabi can grapple really well. Sean is 3-2 in his last 5, 11-3 in the UFC, and coming off a decision win against Song Yadong, which that was a coin flip on who won that fight. It wasn't a very good fight. I want to see Sean put something better together against Ayman. Ayman, though, is 5-0 in his last 5, 8-2 in the UFC, and on a 7-fight win streak. The way he puts together his grappling and striking and his gas tank stays together, that's going to be good. But Sean's got to learn that he cannot just... Sean's got to learn to put it on people again and put those hands on people and not worry about getting taken down. When he worries about getting taken down, he does not have a good performance. And that is his downfall. Sugar wins this fight, but I don't feel very confident. I'll pick a decision win by Sugar to get a better odds on there. 1 out of 5 on the confidence level. He gets his hand raised. Now, co-main event of the evening is a just can't wait. This isn't a banger. This is a can't wait. Alex Pereira, number 2 light heavyweight in the world / champ who had to give up his championship belt to fight for the interim. Negative 106 versus Cyril Gane, negative 120, number 1 ranked heavyweight in the world. Look, man, Alex is 4-1 in his last 5, 10-2 in the UFC. He only has 2 losses, 1 to Ankalaev and 1 to Israel Adesanya, 1 at middleweight, 1 at light heavyweight. So it's crazy to see him fight for the heavyweight title. He is coming off a KO win over Ilia, which was just a mega win that I loved. And his counterpart's 3-1-1 in his last 5, 10-2 in the UFC, just like Alex. But he had that draw / no contest against Tom. Hasn't fought since then. Look, man, he was putting it on Tom. Tom was having a hard time with the speed of Surreal. Alex is putting on the weight and the muscle to move up here. He kind of did it a little quickly for my taste, but he's got it. He wants to be the greatest in the world. This is how he becomes the greatest in the world. If Alex Pereira wins on Saturday, for me, maybe when he was at middleweight fighting, I would never agree to this, but his humbleness has dawned on me. The way his fight skill set has dawned, his overall personality, everything has just gained to me. I will say Chama is winning on Saturday. Cashing that 106 of the bank. I think that he is still going to be just as fast and just as powerful. And Surreal has faltered against guys that are comparable to him in speed and strength. There's not been many guys that you can say that, but the guys that he's lost to, you can say that is what they are. Alex gets a win, big win, 3 out of 5 on the confidence level. He gets his hand raised. That's how confident I am that the best in the world is going to be the best in the world. Now he loses on Saturday. He's still in that top for best in the world, and he still could be, but it might just take a little more time. All right, main event of the evening, the the lightweight championship is on the line. Ilia Topuria, champion, who put out Charles do Bronx Oliveira, which I was still sad about. He's put out a lot of guys that I like, man. But he's fighting a guy in Justin Gaethje that Justin Gaethje is a dog. You do not have someone like the Highlight come in here and not compete for the title. Look, man, when he fought Habib was on a different dynamic and just out-wrestled him. He wasn't ready for it. Ilia can wrestle, but watching Ilia's... he doesn't have a loss, but watching Ilia almost have a loss in his beginning of his career, you see how you got to beat him. You got to get him working right from the start. One, you're not going to be able to stand and bang with him. So if Justin just goes in there and wants to stand and fight, that is just going to be that's a bad night for Justin. If Justin can get in there and make him work grappling in that first round, he has a shot at actually putting it on Topuria and beating him down. Nobody's been able to do that yet. That is the only way to beat Topuria, is to get him a little gassed and take that power down a little bit. Ilia is -670 favorite. Justin plus 430 underdog. I love Justin. I wanted to pick him so bad. I just couldn't. Ilia 5-0 in his last 5, 9-0 UFC fighter, 17-0 undefeatedness. Crazy versus Justin Gaethje, 4-1 in his last 5, 10-5 in the UFC, coming off a win against Paddy Pimblett for the interim title. Yo, man, yeah, Justin is just a brute, dude. I am gonna be rooting for Justin. I'm not gonna be lying. I want him to get championship gold. Unfortunately, I do see that if he got championship gold, he might only fight one more time, but that still would be super sweet to end his career that way. Ilia, though, his hands are going to be too dirty for Justin. I think Justin's going to be in his own head that he can take a shot from him, and he can't, man. Ilia lands and breaks Justin's nose. Justin's going out, because we've seen what happens when Justin's nose breaks, and I just feel like that's what Ilia's going to do. And there's a little bit of bad blood coming in this. Ilia, dog. Take that to the heart. That's your 7th fight. I'm hoping to go perfect. If I go perfect, I'll be screaming for joy, and you better share this with your homies, because Freedom 250's here. We are watching it. We can't wait. Shout out to Right Way Production Studios for always making this happen, and we will see you y'all next week.